Hey Capricorn, happy birthday to the Capricorns who are closing out Capricorn season this week. We're going to connect here and see what messages are coming up for the Capricorn Collective in the week ahead. I'm setting the intention for the 17th through the 23rd, but you might stumble upon this video outside of those dates, and that's fine. You're going to find it whenever you're meant to find it, whenever you're meant to hear the messages. Keep in mind, this is a general reading for the Capricorn Collective, Capricorn Sun, Moon, and Rising. Therefore, not every single message is going to resonate, and that's okay. But take the ones that do and leave the ones that don't. So let's see what's coming up here for Capricorn Sun, Moon, and Rising. Alrighty, my darlings. Let's see in the week ahead. So the first card that we have coming up is the King of Wands. So if you have a fire sign placement, then you might be having some really big changes or shifts happening for you in those areas of your life. Traditionally, the court cards can represent a person coming into the situation or yourself. And I know a lot of people are used to watching tarot for love and romance. I have nothing against love and romance, but in the weekly forecasts, I want to focus on you guys. I want it to be about you and less about other people. Okay, so we're looking at the King of Wands as far as it pertains to you and your energy. Now, we are still under the influence of the full moon energy that's occurring on the 17th of January. We can really feel the full moon energy 3 days before and 3 days after. Sometimes a week before and a week after, depending on how sensitive you are to moon energy or how those energies are pertaining to your placements. But typically, it's safe to say, general rule, 3 days before, 3 days after, we're still in that full moon energy. And so the King of Wands is giving me a feeling, in a sense, that at this stage of the full moon energy, some of you Capricorns are going to be feeling called to action. Like called to take action or called to do something. Like, I can't wait anymore. I can't hold back anymore. Or to heck with it. I'm just going to go for it. I'm just going to do it. I feel this energy of what's going to come across to other people as spontaneous. But the reason why I don't feel it's spontaneous, because Capricorn, I feel this is something you've been debating in your mind for quite some time. And you've maybe been on the fence about it. I'm going to do it. I'm not going to do it. Maybe I will. Maybe I won't. Like back and forth. And you're like, to heck with it. Life is short. I'm doing it. I'm going for it. So for people in your life, it might seem as though this decision came out of nowhere. But I feel it. You're just finally making the decision that you're going to take steps towards something. This could be a career change. This could be a relationship. This could be taking a relationship to the next level. This could be finding a new job. It could be starting a business. It could be leaving an organization of some kind. It's going to be different for different ones of you, but I feel there's a sense here that you're like, I'm just going to go for it. I'm just going to do it. Now, the characteristics of the King of Wands. A lot of you might be stepping into these characteristics. I read a backstory one time, and I wish I had bookmarked it. I wish I had saved it so I could reference the person who put it together. But they were describing the King of Wands as somebody who was not born into royalty. Somebody who kind of was born or grew up in an impoverished land and found a way to make opportunities when there were none. Found a way to fill the needs of the people and to help people and to create abundance. And so the people were like, you need to be our king. You need to be our leader. And the people kind of pushed him into power. And so the King of Wands has this philanthropic energy about him, this generous energy about him, the kind of person that's gonna like want to mentor others or take them under his wing and help them out and show them the ropes. You know, like, you remind me of me when I was your age, or you know, whatever. And so some of you might be coming into success and wanting to pay that success forward by teaching or leading or guiding others. Some of you specifically more towards maybe youth and wanting to do something for the youth or putting together youth groups or youth mentorships. Some of you maybe have had an idea for quite some time about what would be a really great program. You're like, you know what, when I was younger, if there was this kind of a program, my life would have turned out so much differently. I would have saved a lot of time. It would have been so much helpful or so helpful. Maybe some of you are having some kind of an idea in your mind, and you may be talking to churches and schools and different organizations saying, look, I've got this idea for this program, and you might be having people coming in and giving you space and donating resources and materials and things to kind of maybe do something to help or mentor or teach or guide young ones. And I feel it would be specifically around business, right? Especially if you relate to the fact of growing up in a place where there simply aren't opportunities and having to create your own. Okay, but whatever it is, I feel in the energy of this King of Wands of a rising to take action, of going for something. The next card coming up here for Capricorn is the Nine of Wands. And the Nine of Wands can come up in a couple of different ways. First and foremost, one thing I want to draw your attention to is that so far both of your cards are fire and you're an earth sign. So if you do have a fire placement, I'm going to go ahead and say that you're going to really be in that energy right now. But I feel what this fire is taking action. Taking action, taking action, taking action. Nine of Wands comes up for a couple of things. Number one, it tells us we're almost to the finish line. If we're looking at things in terms of 10 being done, like 10 is being finished, 10 is the last step, then you've done 9 out of 10. And Spirit is saying it would be a shame to give up now, because there's just that one thing left, right? You're so close to the finish line. That's one of the messages of the Nine of Wands. Another message of the Nine of Wands is sometimes we have to kind of really keep pushing, because we might have people that are coming at us and like discouraging us from what we want to do. And so this is telling us to stand firm and to protect what we've worked for. One more way the Nine of Wands comes up is that you may be in an energy where you're about to make a decision and you're very worried that you might make the wrong decision or the wrong choice. I'm feeling this feeling of like going forward and doing it, but what if I choose the wrong person? You might have more than one option, or you might be opening up to start taking applications, so to speak, like metaphorically, and you're like, what if I choose the wrong person or I let the wrong thing in? Nine of Wands comes up to remind you, darling, this is not your first rodeo. You weren't born yesterday. Every single one of those wands is someone that came after this poor man who was standing there and minding his own business. And he fought and he won, and he took their wand away and he stuck it in the ground behind him. Each one of these is a token of victory, is a battle that he's won. He's not without injury. He's got that bandage around his head, right? But he's still standing. He's still alert. He still has fight in him. And so do you, Capricorn. And this card comes up to remind you that you have seen every dirty little trick in the book. You have seen every lie. You have seen every manipulation. There is nothing, absolutely positively nothing new under the sun that anybody can come at you with. You've seen it all, right? This isn't your first rodeo. You weren't born yesterday. So as long as you're paying attention to any kind of red flags, you're not going to make the wrong decision. And pay attention when that little voice comes up in your head and says, oh, wow, gosh, this person really reminds me, or that I went on that job interview where I talked to that one person. It really reminds me of that one job I had a few years back when I kept having to double check my paycheck because they kept supposedly making mistakes or making a mistake in calculating my pay, and it was always off. It was always short. I always had to go and correct them and show them that, you know, they owed me more money than I actually got paid for. Then I would have to wait forever for the revised check or for the additional check, or they were always trying to get me to do unsafe or shady things, Or you meet somebody and you're like, this person really reminds me of my one cousin who, was really nice to my face, but was going around and trying to spread rumors about me. Or, this person really reminds me of that one ex that, oh my gosh, I was so crazy about them, but they were such a liar, they were such a cheat, right? Pay attention to that. That's not you being judgmental. That's you sniffing out the red flag, and that is your gut. That is your instinct. That is your intuition saying, my darling, we know this energy. We've been here before. We've already been in this class. We don't need to repeat the lesson. It's not being judgmental. Pay attention to that. If anything comes up at this time that reminds you of a situation from the past, it's because it's the same energy and you don't need to repeat it. And as long as you're paying attention to that, you're not going to let in the wrong person. You're not going to choose the wrong opportunity. You can have trust in yourself to make good decisions. And honestly, Capricorn, I feel this is a big part of the big shift that's coming into you guys taking back your power and stepping into your power, is being able to trust your decisions. Some of you have been through some really hard times and it's shaken your confidence, and you're doubting yourself and you're doubting your own judgment. And this is a time that Spirit is saying you're going to come back into it. You're going to learn to trust your own judgment, and you're going to make good and wise decisions. Your next card here is the Four of Cups. Now, the Four of Cups can come up sometimes when we have an idea of what we want and we're not liking what we're being offered. And so some people might say that the Four of Cups is coming up to say, hey, look, don't have tunnel vision. Be open to other opportunities. But in this way and in this sense, because there's so much fire in your reading so far, I'm feeling the Four of Cups the way it often comes up for me in my readings, which reminds me of what Rumi wrote about when he talked about divine discontentment. Divine discontentment is when somebody starts realizing, hey now, wait a minute, I'm a child of God. I'm a child of the universe. These other people around me, they have so much success. They have so much happiness. And hello, I'm just as deserving. It's not a jealousy. It's not an envy. You're not looking at people around you and thinking, oh, I hate them for being happy. Oh, I hate them for being successful. You're not wishing for their demise, but you're looking and you're saying, I deserve it too. They don't have anything I don't have. They're not any more special than me. I'm just as deserving as anybody else. Where's my share? Right? Where's my piece of the pie? And so with the Four of Cups, it's like you're having, for me it comes up when you're having this realization that you may have manifested a lot of really big things in your life. Things that maybe in the past you never thought were possible. But you're not satisfied with what's come in. Not because you're an ungrateful person, but because you manifested what you have right now when you were at a very, very low point and your thinking was very limited. And you basically manifested the bare minimum at a time when you didn't have bare minimum. You manifested bare minimum, and that's wonderful. But now that you're in that bare minimum, you're like, well, yeah, of course I deserve this. I've worked really hard. I should have at least this, but now you're manifesting more. You're manifesting the seasoning. You're manifesting the spice. You're manifesting the flavor, right? It's the difference between, oh, I can't wait to find a job where my boss isn't shady and making me lie all the time and yelling at me in front of everybody and, making mistakes on my paycheck or forgetting to pay me, or I go and I cash my paycheck and it bounces. I can't wait to find a job where I don't have to deal with that. That is bare minimum. The bare minimum you deserve to work someplace is to get paid for your time and for your work, to be treated with respect. That is the bare minimum. Or to say, man, I can't wait until I find a partner who doesn't cheat on me and who doesn't yell at me and call me names. Again, bare minimum. That is the bare minimum. If I go and take a walk down the street every single day at the same time of the day, and I don't punch anybody in the face, and I don't damage anybody's cars, and I don't create any kind of trouble, the city police aren't going to come to my door and say, Amethyst, we've noticed every single day you go for a walk and you never punch anybody in the face, and you never damage anybody's property, and you never break any laws. Oh my goodness, you're amazing. Here, we're going to throw you a parade. We're going to give you this $500 gift card. It's not going to happen like that, because that is the bare minimum. Of course I'm not supposed to punch people in the face. Of course I'm not supposed to damage anybody's property. So a lot of the things that you have right now, you manifested. But again, they're like just the bare minimum of survival, the bare minimum of getting by. And now you're realizing, I deserve more. And there's no reason why I can't be successful at my ideas or my dreams or my planning. There's a sense of entrepreneurship also with the King of Wands. So some of you might begin to take steps to get the ball rolling in terms of, and this has been an ongoing thing for Capricorn, like pitching an idea on your own to like a network, or starting some kind of series and debuting it yourself through free social media platforms. Maybe you're putting together your animations and you're starting like a YouTube cartoon series, or you're doing like an online comic book series, or you might be doing something in terms of self-publishing, or creating, inventing something, starting a business. You might be deciding to take your gifts and your resources and to put them to use for yourself. You're like cutting out the middleman and you're going to the people with something, some of you. But you have this healthy entitlement that you're ready for more and that you're deserving of more. Your next card here, I have to chuckle, is Judgment. And what did I say? Spirit is telling you this week, Capricorn, that this is the time that you're taking back your power by learning to make your own decisions and trusting your decisions. Whatever happened that shook your confidence, whatever happened that made you doubt yourself, that's done. You're learning to make decisions and to trust the decisions that you're making. Okay? You're learning to make decisions and trust the decisions that you are making. And so the fact that the Judgment card is coming up here, we're not just talking about deciding, little trivial everyday things. The Judgment card is making big life-changing decisions. You're choosing a big decision. Like you're at this crossroads or this intersection of life, and you're making a major decision towards a major goal or a major step, right? This is the time of major life decisions, but you can trust that you're going to make the right decision. You may want to check out your moon sign and rising sign videos. Some weeks those are going to resonate with you more than your sun sign. If you want to check out the love readings for January, those are linked in the description. February love readings will be up soon. And the yearly forecasts are linked in the description also. If you haven't checked out the 2022 forecasts yet, those are linked in the description as well. I thank you all for watching, liking, sharing, commenting, subscribing. You can schedule a private reading with me at calendly.com/amethystangelite. Thanks for watching, guys. Take care, Cappies.